It feels not too long ago we were all riding the hype train to Ubisoft's Watch Dogs, but then quickly got off at the station to have the game not live up to its expectations. As the advertising led us to believe, the gameplay is set in an open-world Chicago, where hacking the city plays an essential role. While it is true, it doesn't play out in the most satisfying way. It tries to combine the strategic stealth from Assassin's Creed and the shooting and driving of GTA, but sadly it fails to recapture the charm from either. We all remember the long delay as well as the graphical downgrade, but still, it's not a bad game, it's just really flawed. Aiden Pierce is an experienced, gravelly-voiced hacker, but after he targeted someone powerful, a hitman attacked his van and this resulted in Aiden's 6-year-old niece getting killed. About a year later, Aiden still seeks revenge by getting information out of the hitman while trying to maintain a connection with his sister and nephew. The story tries to get the player involved in some emotional moments, but they really don't have enough development to be relatable to the audience. It especially doesn't help that the dialogue is lazily written in most scenes. A short time later, the sister gets kidnapped, and this plays out as a big plot point, and I personally lost interest in the story since I was actually hoping for something a lot more original. Thankfully, there are a lot of activities to take part in the world. Aiden can profile every citizen where a short, randomly generated bio will appear, and this is actually really cool to give the world more life. He can also get leads on potential crimes that happen randomly, and you have the option to prevent them. This is another game that gives you a seemingly pointless reputation system, and I never really paid it any attention. There are also a lot of minigames to play, especially these digital trips which put you in a virtual world to collect high scores and XP. My favorite has to be the spider one, where you control a massive spider tank and cause destruction throughout the city. There are also multiplayer hacking games that you can take part in, but the game always nags you like a parent during single-player missions to connect online, but the game usually involves trying to find your target in a crowd of civilians within a time limit, and it's very dull. Unlike GTA 5, the cars really don't control very well because the physics are very slippery and bouncy, so driving them can be an unwanted annoyance. Also unlike GTA 5, this game doesn't have a great soundtrack because the radio playlist consists of hipster music from a lot of bands I've never heard of, and I'm usually an outside-the-mainstream kind of guy. During car chases, your enemies will shoot at you, however you cannot shoot from a car, and instead have to rely on hacking traffic lights and blockers. Sadly, these are reduced to a simple QuickTime event that appears to make the pursuer crash. Another problem I have is that most of the crimes that Aiden commits have no consequences. Money is really easy to acquire, you can buy guns and supplies from shops even though you can find them all laying around by chance, and you can steal parked cars without getting police attention with just one simple upgrade. There are 3 main types of side missions: gang hideouts, fixer contracts, and criminal convoys. Each can be obnoxiously annoying at times, but if you complete all of them, you get a special mission for each. Which is exactly the same. But for every bad thing about the game, I can usually find just as many good things about it, so I'm actually pretty torn on the whole thing. Even the DLC content varies from good stuff to bad things that are just more of the same. The game does have good potential for a sequel, and I would like to see it become a larger franchise, because it would be sad to see a game with such an interesting concept be forgotten about. I still think it's a decent game. There's just a lot of mediocrity that gets in the way. I find that players have a lot of mixed feelings on it, and I can understand why, but to be fair, it deserves a chance to be seen, so draw your own conclusions, and always remember to stay connected.
Hi. Oh, fuck. Jordy, who are they?
Well, they live here.
What happened?
Well, security in these buildings is pretty tight. So people like this feel nice and secure living way up here. I mean, these people just had a simple chain lock on their door. I guess they want to have a good look at the pizza guy before they open it all the way.
All right, fine, sure. So about this problem.
Well, that's why I brought the bolt cutters. He opens the door this much, there's a chain right there, I slip him in and snip, and guess what? It's not the pizza guy.
Jordy, the problem, let's deal with it.
We are dealing with it. We're in the midst of solutions here, Pierce. You don't appreciate what I do for you. You don't realize how much I take care of you, do you?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, do me a favor, let's get on with it. How much time do we have?
Not as much as we need.